into Shugga Mama Radio. This is your girl Shamika Chantel.
And it's your girl Tina Marie.
And Stokey.
Listen, so if people wanted to help in their community, what would be your advice to them? What would you tell them to do? Where would you tell them to start?
I mean, everybody got different needs and different wants. And depending on what the problem is, like the majority of people go to their local congressman or delegate and try to figure out what resources are available to help them, or go to the source. I mean, if it's education, you go to the school system and figure out what I can do to get my kids better education. You know, if that don't work, then you go to somebody who's over top of them to supersede their authority to try to get some answers. But honestly, in Baltimore City, most of us have the same problem. You know what I mean? It may not be as deep in one neighborhood as the other, but all of us want jobs, better education, and safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the better opportunities to see in this so-called crazy world. Because like it's hard for us right now. And I mean, being black, you know, they always say you got 2 strikes, especially guys coming home with a record. You know, that's why I would propose that to some of the officials that we create some type of levy, like we give business owners a certain tax break to hire ex-offenders. You know, that way you can decrease the recidivism and the crime, because now these guys got something to do when they come home. They already know, okay, I don't have to feel hopeless. Because I was in that situation. When I came home, I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew what I wasn't going to do.
Right.
I wasn't going back to the streets, you know. And I mean, you're going to have people that doubt, people that believe that you're always going to be a part of the life of crime. I mean, that's why I wear this bracelet, prove people wrong. I mean, because I live for that. I mean, and it was some dark days in there, and I was in there for 12 whole years. And I mean, I remember when, you know, they talking about 2011, I couldn't even see 2005. But you had to find the strength that was in to make it through those dark days. And I encourage everybody who's been in that situation, who's going through it now, when they come home, have a plan. You know, have something that you think you're good at, and exercise those options, because it's not as hard as people think it is. You know, like I was blessed with certain opportunities, like, you know, dealing with the kids, you know, at the group home, to being involved with a company like Shoe City. I mean, and I love what I do. You know, so they always say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That's kind of my story, you know. And they allowed me to be me. And they some of the most genuine, honest people I ever met in my life, because they want to help the community. I'm talking about Shoe City. They want to help the community. They give me ammunition to give back, not only in Baltimore, but in D.C. and Virginia, because that's where we located, you know. And it's a very, very fine place to work, because everybody has the same work DNA. They want to give back, you know. They want to make sure that we cross our I's and dot our T's. And we're not, you know, concerned with no competitors. You know, we really want to touch the people. You know, and we do that very well. And especially, you know, when we know that they are our number one consumer, you know, especially in the city of Baltimore. So, I mean, I find like, you know, situations like that encouraging it into people who think that you can't get a job. They took a risk on me. I know for a fact that a lot of other companies that should take a risk or a chance on other people as well.
Now, there are a lot of people. Now, unfortunately, in our community nowadays, a lot of the children don't look up to the doctors or the lawyers and stuff like that. In our community, they look up to the Chinos or the April Diva Styles or the hottest artists, or whoever has the most followers or the most successful business. You know, they look up to those type of. So, what can you say to those people to help influence the children in a more positive way?
Well, I mean, big ups to Chino and April. I mean, when
Definitely.
you say, I mean, they do a lot of positive things. You know, we have a coalition, we have a strong team concept that we always want to make sure the kids come first, and we want to lead by example. I mean, Chino is a product of this environment. He's from Baltimore, so is April. I mean, their stories might not be parallel, but you're dealing with 2 people who really want to get back to their own communities.
But for those who are don't do what they do, what can you advise those to become more like them?
I mean, again, it's a lot of people don't understand the power of influence. You know, you spoke about social network. I mean, when I was coming up, you know, I can remember, I keep saying a long time ago, but we had things called Atari. That was pretty much it, you know. And now,
what was it?
Atari, you know, and Nintendo and stuff like that. So you just told your age. But I mean, and now, I mean, if you look at the kids today, they like instant gratification, you know, and everybody, you know, loves social network. You know, we love having things at our disposal, and with the touch of a like button, you can be famous. You know, a lot of superstars, celebrities, they use social network because it's faster, it's more intimate, you know, and you get instant results, opposed to having a commercial waiting for the data to come back. And if you do a consensus and you say who don't use social network, it's not necessarily somebody that's out of touch. It's probably somebody who really can configure that into their life the way we can, I'm phony on that, but I use it as a platform to distribute my message because I know people take it serious, but you don't follow back. But no, it's not that I don't want to know what you got going on. I just focus on trying to spread a message. And I don't want to get discombobulated, because sometimes when you find yourself so deep into certain things, you lose yourself, right? I mean, but I get beat up all the time about social network. I'm like, wait a minute, that's just a platform. Like, that's not really something I use to say I like you, I don't like you. And I had people always talk about, I know people DM you. Yeah, they do. They ask for help, and I love the fact that I can help people. So I use that as an advantage. I don't have to always be in New York to help somebody in New York or in Chicago or Baltimore. But I love my city, so my city come first. So whatever I can do in my city through social network, I'm gonna do it. But to answer your question, I think a lot of us just gotta be more responsible. We gotta make sure our content is very respectful, and we gotta make sure that the audience that we are using to deliver certain messages, is in line with being respectful. And you only get one chance to lose it, because like if somebody defamates your character on social network, it take a long time for you to get it back. Look at what Meek Mill's gonna do right now. I mean, Meek a good person, but just because, and we start to pick and choose. I posted something on social network a while ago and said, listen, I don't know if everybody in Baltimore remember this, but during the ride, Meek Mills was one of the few people that actually went viral and said, pray for Baltimore and start spreading the message. A lot of people didn't even come to Baltimore. Yeah. I mean, we was really in dire need of some assistance, and although he probably couldn't come in because he had certain restrictions, whether he was on parole, probation, I don't know, but he did the best he could do for me. He did what I asked him to do. Now, I know a lot of people, like JC called me and said, Stoke, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do. And then he tweeted out, I believed him, because he ain't no reason to lie. I mean, he was in LA like, you need me to call a mayor, a governor, president, I'm going to do it. And I know he always been a man of his word to me. So I think sometimes when we look at people and ask them to be influential and influence, sometimes the messenger, or the message has to match the messenger, because you don't want your kids to start dissecting information that pretty much can start leading them in the wrong direction, and that has happened, with social network and social media, all across the world. I mean, you can go on somebody's pages in China, and it's very powerful. So a lot of parents have to be involved and look at the content that their kid is using and seeing, because if your kid is underage and you allow him to freelance on social network and you're not monitoring his behavior, that can be problematic, and it goes as far as in the schools, and a young lady being targeted by overly aggressive men. I mean, it can be real dangerous. So I think the most influential people in Baltimore or in our environment who has the potential to change lives should. And I mean, do it in a positive way where it resonates, because these kids, they pay attention. Yeah, we got a lot of people still want to be doctors and lawyers. That's why universities are full. People who want to do more than just play basketball, right? But I think most kids follow people they can relate to. And rap is one of the things that we use as a social instrument to, whether it be rejoice or, event. However, it's something that we use, and it has grown over the years and has been very, very popular, especially in the black community. I mean, Chino ride dirt bikes. He's an actor now. He's in LA right now trying to get a job with Jada Pinkett in her new upcoming movie. And I commend him for that, I mean, April, she's on vacation, but she do a lot in her community, as far as, give back, and whether it be feed the homeless, clothe the homeless, whatever she can do. So, I mean, and these people who, do it because it's in their heart, And I just, my whole team like that. I have a lot of people in Shoe City. We have some assets or ambassadors, that do a lot, and they was pretty much handpicked because I knew their heart. It was in the right place, and they wasn't going to taint the brand. Because when you trust somebody with your name, you want to make sure they use it in the right way.
Yeah, I definitely want to start doing more in the community, and shout out to you, because you have put a lot of those influential people, as you mentioned, on a team, as far as Tank, April, Chino. You also have shout out to Tank, still undefeated. Lil Black, it's Who Is You. It's a lot of people that that have been influential throughout the city.
Will Barton, the NBA player who came on board to help out, get in where he fit in that. Good guy, I love him, and that's so proud of him. He's a professional basketball player, but he humbled himself enough to come down to Shoe City and help us out, any way he could. We got Brandon, he's a real known piper. We got a little Mo on deck. I love her to death. Sis is holding us down. She doing what she can do for YCMC and Shoe City in general. I mean, like you said, we
Now,
got
speaking of Shoe City, are everyone that we just named, are they brand ambassadors? Like, what are the roles in Shoe City?
They are brand ambassadors. I
Okay.
mean, and we had created a system where as though they advertise and promote the brand, and all of our components, whether it be Puma, New Balance, or Adidas, wherever they needed that. And we get behind them as well. They're allowed to still have their individual goals and agendas, and whatever we can support them, we do. I mean, we got Lonnie B from DC, we pretty much broaden our scope. And again, we going 95 south with this movement because we got 3 different markets, and so we looking for people in DC and Virginia as well to join the team, And I like the direction we going. We got a wonderful owner. I mean, we got some beautiful buyers. We got some
And what is exactly your affiliation?
Well, I work in the marketing department.
Okay.
I wanted to come in and get them ideas and create a lifestyle brand that was easy, accessible, and that would resonate to the people. I mean, we got to find ways to not only touch the people, but make them believe that we more than just a retail store. Because again, the consumer wants to be, remembered as someone not only he spent his money, and I wanted to make sure they was giving back in an honest way, and they do it. I mean, we did plenty of back to school giveaways, and I'm still riding around the truck with braces, giving them out because I feel like I want everybody to understand what we stand for. We don't want to just say we took your money, see you later. We give back, and they always trying to make sure that people come first. And that's why I'm on board. It wasn't about the money. I mean, I ain't where I want to be, but I wasn't hurting. But at the end of the day, I felt like the opportunity presented itself to give people opportunities too, and it's a platform too. I mean, think about it. Was one of the first people that Shoe City dealt with. You don't see too many retail stores dealing with people in the inner city, getting an opportunity to be part of that brand. I mean, no disrespect to nobody in general, and shout out to DTLR. They gave me my first chance when I first came on, my first spot. That's my guy. I love him to death. I would love to have him with me now, but unfortunately, things are what they are. But you got a lot of companies that believe in a lot of, people and give them chances to pretty much, succeed. And that's what Shoe City is about.
So as far as Shoe City, where do you see you taking Shoe City within the next 5 years? Like, where can you say you will be with Shoe City in the next 5 years?
Due to certain restrictions, we're not allowed to sell shoes and stuff overseas, but global. I mean, we have a fantastic team. Our ambitions are in overdrive, and I think once we find different avenues to pursue, we will. Like tomorrow in New York, advertise and promote the Shoe City brand. I mean, I'm hopeful that one day we would be in the NFL. I mean, with people just promoting our brand because it's authentic, you know what I'm saying? And it's a very honest, hardworking team of people that believe in, like I say, not only just giving back or philanthropy, but like we work in school systems, we do anything we can do to touch the people. So in 5 years, I hope that we will branch out into other cities or other states, you know what I'm saying, with the same model, that we always, In Baltimore, they say Shoe City, your city, my city, So that's the Baltimore thing, but I'm just hoping to go further. As far as the owner wants it to go, and make sure that everybody understands what we're about, our core values. That's what's important to me, our core values. We believe in the people, we give back, and I love walking that building every day. It's not like you think people are serious, they joke, they have fun, and it's like a family, and I embrace that.
Now, I've been reading a lot of bios and things on very successful people, and one thing that stood out to me that people did that I didn't think they do was vision boards. So I mean, have you ever done a vision board? And if you haven't, if you was to do one today, what would be on your vision board for the future?
For myself?
For yourself, for Stokey the brand overall.
I mean,
because you got a lot going on right now.
No, honestly, what keeps me going is helping people. Like, again, I might be redundant when I keep saying I love my city, but like, Baltimore gave me an identity and a platform that no one else could ever give me. And as long as I'm here, I always want to reach back and make sure that my people are okay. I mean, I done traveled the world. I done seen a lot of things. I done drove every kind of car you can imagine. But to me, it's about giving back. And the first thing would be on my vision board was making sure my people are okay. Because it hurts me when I see people still struggling in the communities that I grew up in and no one's trying to help them, And, if I could make it contagious that everybody has that type of ambition where we want to just give back and help people strive and not keep people down, I mean, I've never been a hater, at times, you know, I do look at people in the professional arena who don't take advantage of their blessings. I get mad at those people, like, dang, you know, here it is, you making millions of dollars, you still want to sell drugs? Like, yo, that's crazy, you know. So, I mean, but if I could, you know, make my mom proud, you know, she's not here, you know, she passed away in 1999, you know, and I tell people all the time, I can go anywhere in the city and hold my head high, and my kids can always say that's my father, you know, and as a man, you know, you can't ask for more than that, because your kids can say that's my dad, and anybody else can say anything they want to say, because as long as your kids accept you in their eyes, you know, you good, you know, and I don't look at myself as an activist or role model. I'm a regular individual, just want more for myself and my people, and it's not about nationalism, being aggressive or, you know, extremist or radical. It's just about what we got, what we supposed to have, and hopefully it's perpetuated throughout every neighborhood in the city where we all can come together and find solutions where we can stop killing each other, and we can love each other, and we can lift each other up, and that's what I'm hoping for. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I hint about being in the political arena, because I want to make sure that this gets done. I think, you know, there's so much potential in Baltimore, and we got a lot of people that's influential that's not even here, that's from here, the Carmichael, the San Cristobal, the Monique. You know, I think, you know, the Jada Pickett, I think all of us together can come together collectively and cohesively and create this movement to let everybody know, listen, man, this is what Baltimore really about. You know, and let the kids know, listen, you know, we've been where y'all at now once before, and we overcame it. You know, we had, you know, better opportunities, but I think we can get back to doing those things if the right people get involved. Right. And I stand on this. I think right now, you know, if the right person, whoever he, she may be, come to me and say, Stoke, we need your help to help me spread this message. As long as it makes sense, I'm all for it. But I ain't lying to these kids no more. You know, and I ain't gonna delay that future based on no hypocrisy or politics. No, I lay it for that, you know what I'm saying? Because we gotta get it our way. We gonna get it our way. Not saying nothing illegal, it might be harder or longer. I mean, we gotta create our own opportunities, but I ain't playing that game no more. There's too much at stake right now for these kids to be denied the opportunity to be successful and live a long, healthy life. I mean, right now they looking at jail as a consolation prize to death. They only see themselves being 30 years old. I mean, you know, and right now, when you look at them, you know, they look like, man, like, you know, it is what it is, you know. And that's a, you know, the type of attitude that I wouldn't, you know, want to embody, because, you know, it's, you know, it seems like to me, once you accept that, you self-defeat, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have any entitlement issues. I don't mind being a subordinate in a major role, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, let's give these people what they deserve. They deserve justice, they deserve equality, having success, and I think we can afford to get that to them if everybody come together and stop going against each other. Like right now, these kids are frustrated. You know, think about how many murders happened in the wake of Freddie Gray. That's because they felt like this is the only way they could troubleshoot and probably resolve the issues. You know, I'm tired of speaking at funerals. I want to speak more at inaugurations. I'd rather do that than speak at funerals. So if I could go back and say one of those lives that we lost last year, by me putting myself on the forefront or creating a platform, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But I don't want to be nobody's excuse or nobody's mistake, because I know for a fact it's a win-win situation. Like, I mean, I ain't supposed to be right here. I mean, I went to prison for 12 whole years. I did all the things I wasn't supposed to do. But one thing I did do in the wake of all that, I changed my thinking. And once you change your thinking, everything else is going to fall in place, because then you got to start believing that it's possible, you know. And I didn't know what I was going to do when I came home. Like I said earlier, I knew what I wasn't going to do. And I want to influence these kids to believe in the same thing, you know.
Was it hard getting to where you are now? Well, I'm sure it is, but when you initially got out of prison,
it's funny because, like, I had so much support. I mean, and I think that goes back to what I did before I left. I don't got to tell my story, it can be told, but I don't think I was a bad person. You know, according to the law of the land, I did some bad things, but I still try to treat people right. You know, I took in my mom. You know, me and my father, we ain't had the best relationship, but it is what it is. I took in my kids. I showed my community all the love I could, although I was doing some things I shouldn't have been doing. But you can't distinguish, you know, the bad from the good, because sometimes one outweighs the other. But it bothers me because, you know, I perpetuated a behavior for so many years, and a lot of other young folk follow suit. But now I can't get those guys jobs, but it was easy for me to get them drugs, and that hurt. So now what I do, I try to master my craft and try to create opportunities so that I can give back and I can lead them in a different direction, either by setting examples or using my resources to help them. And I understand how it works. You know, you can't fix nothing unless you know how it works. I ain't gonna be on TV or some microphone lying to people, you know, about what Baltimore can be just because I want to vote. Man, I don't care nothing about none of that. If people want better, we got to do better. And if you know better, you're going to do better. But sometimes they don't have the strength and the willpower to do it themselves. You know, it's a difference between helping somebody and rescuing them. If I help you, I'm assisting you. If I'm rescuing you, I got to do it for you.
Right.
Some of us need to be rescued, you know. And it's not like we got here on our own. Some of this stuff was, you know, designed. But we can't keep making excuses. I mean, like I say, men got to be men. We got to take care of our kids, our family, and do what men do. And women got to do what they got to do as well. And then, you know, I think we'll start seeing some real positive results real soon. You can't put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. And I think that's what a lot of people do. You can't do it. You know, you got to stitch that thing out real good, you know what I'm saying? Then give it some time to heal. I mean, for real, think about it. I mean, has anything changed in Baltimore systematically in the last 6 months? I mean, I hear about all these programs coming, and I hear about a lot of opportunities and the people with entitlement issues talking about they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But do we really trust them people? Because, you know, it's a thing called good old boy network that exists. And I honestly think some of the people are part of the problem. I mean, I got houses in my neighborhood that have been vacant for 30 years. I can't blame Stephanie for that. Who else you blame? I mean, that they've been vacant for 30 years. So when they going to realize, okay, that not only people don't live in that, but rats live in there. Rats live better than some people. You got people underneath the bridge that's homeless. You know, they don't have nowhere to go. Let's tear these houses down and build them back up and give people a place to live. Or get these kids a job, build these houses up. But I mean, they've been vacant for 30 years. You go down Carmichael Street, a whole block vacant. I mean, what's the problem? You know, I mean, yeah, people who own houses can write off as a tax, and the city can charge tax for the house, so keep the revenue going. But that's not what you call, you know, living. I mean, you know, the democracy wasn't set up to be like this, you know. So I think right now we got to find ways to engage with our elected officials and hold them accountable, you know. And I'm gonna start in the field, hold them accountable. I don't know.
You start tomorrow?
I don't know, but we're gonna hold them accountable. And I got some. I don't want to call that name. I got a strong group of people that have been working with me. We've been advised and have been advising me on when to strike and how to execute, because they know I got people's best interest, and they don't want me to really be even involved to be used as a puppet. They want me to be for the people and by the people and help the people understand the things that, you know, they need to know. Like, we gotta get voter education. People gotta understand why it's important to vote. When should you register and things like that. I mean, we live in a democratic society, you know, almost, you know. And a lot of people don't get involved. You can vote if you're not on probation. If you got a record, you still can vote. A lot of people don't know that, because I didn't know it at first, you know. And a lot of times they don't want you to know it. But I vow that if I'm a part of the process, we're going to have more new voter turnout than probably in the history of Baltimore, because I'm going to go hard for Baltimore in terms of making sure everybody got the information and the access to vote so their voice can be heard. And then when we complain, we're going to complain together that we put you in there, we're going to take you out.
Well, we will be backing you on that, because I definitely, but I've been voting since I was 18, since I was able to vote. And I do strongly believe in voting. So, yeah, we will back you on that. And let me know if you need anything. I'm sure Ms. Vines.
I'm Mrs. Scott.
Oh,
But
sorry.
I sure will back you up. I definitely.
Mr. Scott.
Yeah. You're right. A lot of money on that one. But one of the things that we normally do on Mondays is Motivational Mondays, where we talk about some of the things that motivates us, that keeps us focused, that keeps us moving forward, and try to move to the next level. Because I think we should always strive to get to that next level. Once you accomplish something, there's 10 other things to be accomplished. So can you give the people a little motivation today?
It's funny, because I was telling you off air that this morning I woke up, and sometimes I don't really find myself discouraged. I just find myself in like a somber moment because of what's going on in the city. If I itemize all the things I got in my life, I'm good, you know, and I don't want to sound selfish, but sometimes, you know, the truth don't need no support. You know, I have a job, I'm healthy, I don't smoke, I don't drink, never use drugs, so I don't really have anything I can say I need to work on other than certain small vices, but, you know, I ain't perfect. But I'm saying, you know, I watched Will Smith trailer today, and I posted on social network, and he was telling his son to the movie,
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness, and, you know, that was a very intimate, you know, part to me, because I would like to convey that message to everybody. You know, you can be whatever you want to be. Don't let nobody tell you, you know, that you can't, and don't quit. You know, and my mother, before she passed away, her last words to me was never give up. And I motivate people to not only make the people in your life proud, but make sure that you give life your best shot. Because, you know, I mean, we believe in certain religions and certain, you know, factions and all that kind of stuff. But I think right now it's important for people to always put their best foot forward, you know, and make those that support you or make those who doubt you, you know, wish they didn't, and make people proud. Because, like, my mom, she can't be here to see what I'm doing now, but I know that if she was, she would be proud. So, and my son, like, you know, I have a 2-year-old genius. I mean, and I stand on this. I'm telling you, I'm not saying his age. I'm saying he's the smartest person I know at his age. I'm not saying he's the smartest person in the world. I'm saying at 2 years old, this guy is something, you know, and he keeps me going. So that's my motivation to my kids, you know, to make sure that I stay out here in the right frame of mind. You know, I always try to set positive examples. I try to lead, you know, by example. And, you know, my success does not supersede my happiness. I just want to be happy, you know. Mm-hmm. And what makes me happy, honestly, is seeing everybody else happy. So if I can do something to help somebody else, then I'm good with that. So that motivates me to see everybody else happy, you know. Like last night, y'all football team won. I was happy. Everybody.
Y'all.
So who was your football team?
I'm saying, like, well, see,
well, you know what? I'm not even.
Well, I was saying, because you too young to remember we ain't had no football team. So, like, I had to adopt a football team. And I don't want to tell y'all who my football team is because y'all might put me off the station. But, you know. No.
Patriots.
That's my guy.
Okay.
It's the Patriots?
The second worst team.
Well.
But I just, like I said, I think, you know, it's easy for me to motivate someone because I look at where I come from. Like I said earlier, you know, I was supposed to be here, you know, and for y'all to tell me that y'all can think about me running the city, I mean, that's so humbling because, I mean, I know I got managerial skills, but I mean, to me, that's huge because, I mean, to think of me like that is, to me, is humbling because, I mean, I can think of a lot of people, but in the same breath, when you said about who you think could lead us out of the uprise, you know, and in a positive direction, I felt good about that because, I mean, I didn't ever thought about that. Who else could have done it? You know, I didn't think about that. You know, I did it. I made a few mistakes along the way after that, doing things that thought that was helping other people, but you know, you live and you learn. But I just think that all of us has this genius inside of us that, you know, we just waiting to come out, you know, regardless of what it is. And I think that our people especially have proven that. You know, everything we get in, we take over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of taking over, despite everything you have going on, author, 3 books.
No, 7.
Wait a minute. White Lock City, 1 and 2. Right. Penny with a Hole in it.
Mm-hmm. My God, My Word.
My God, My Word.
Which is 2 parts, and Gutter Juice.
Okay, so that's 2 parts.
And right, and then I got another part 2, Penny with a Hole in it as well. I mean, I'm waiting. That's my broke book. So if I go broke, I'm coming out.
You always gotta have a plan B.
You mentioned Man Up.
Yeah, Man Up. It was started out as a short film I wanted to do to bring a lot of attention to the dirt bike riding in Baltimore. Okay. I thought that they were getting a bad rap, although it's not legal to ride bikes in the street. But I felt like it was part of our culture, you know. And a lot of kids, you know, were riding bikes because it was a form of fun. And then when they were riding up Town Road and up there by Park Circle, I can honestly say that, you know, maybe it was dangerous, and it's always going to be dangerous when you ride dirt bikes, but you knew where approximately 300-400 people was going to be at, you know, and then when they're on they displaced, I don't know where they're going to be, and now the thing I worry about the most is they're going to try to find something to do. Those kids are at risk. What do you think they're going to find to do? I mean, honestly, so, I mean, I think it could have been a way where we found a way, because we got a lot of land in Baltimore and around that we could have coordinated something to find a way we can get them guys, you know. And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be a politician with that because it's easy to say, hard to do. But I think we could have done something before we just displaced those kids. Because now they're gonna ride anyway.
They're riding through the communities.
They're gonna ride anyway. And now, you know, it's like, okay, at least at that point, kids knew not to come at that area. Now they back doing what they did best. And to me, that's problematic because now I know certain kids got hit by dirt bikes. A young lady lost her life. You know. I worry about all that kind of stuff, you know, and it's kind of dangerous. But the movie was to really be based out of Baltimore. I thought Chino was an excellent candidate. Another one of my little homeboys, a kid named Lil Petey, he's about 8, 9 years old. He tough. He remind me of Chino. So I want to use those use that platform as an opportunity to not only present them as actors, artists in general, but then bring some light to Baltimore and the culture of dirt bike riding.
So when can we expect that?
Well, I mean, sometimes, I'm praying this will be early next year. I mean, when the weather permits, sometimes, I don't have Tyler Perry money. I can't take my own studio. But what I do know is that if the weather permits, it's going to be sometime early next year.
So what about the web series Mother by Default?
Well, again, we were, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, I started doing that, and then the weather got in the way, it started snowing. So if you know anything about production, you can't film one day it's dry, the next day it's snow, and you haven't completed that set. So that's why in Hollywood they had the studios, whereas though they do certain things, or they travel where they know for a fact that the weather is going to be cooperative, And that's something else I can bounce back on, It's not a foregone conclusion, it's just that timing had interfered with a lot of things, and I moved on to a bunch of other events and activations. So I will revisit that too, because that's something that was dear to me too, But I'm gonna focus on that because everybody showed up at the audition. We're gonna start rehearsing another week or so.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
You have so much going on. We can sit here all night talking to Stokey about what he got going on, what he got coming up, all of your accomplishments. I mean, you do have a website. If you can let the people know the website, they can definitely learn a lot about you from the website.
Oh yeah, I have my own website, the Stokey Project at gmail.com. Most people who feel bored that follow me on social network, I'm at Stokey Project on Instagram, and same as Twitter, and then Stokey Cannady on Facebook. But yeah, my webpage, we about to get right interested, because I'm telling you, the next several weeks, we're gonna have some content and some substance on there about how to reshape Baltimore. And I feel like if I say it, I'm gonna walk it. If I walk it, I can talk it. So I'm gonna use my website as a platform to distribute a lot of content and messages for people to see exactly what's going on, who don't have the opportunity to be a part of it. And I think that's the way to do it, because people want to see if you talking, what you doing. And on there, like even with the Freddie Gray, I mean, sometimes I miss that. I miss the connect. I miss the people that we were connecting with. I miss daily, conversation about how to build, and how we could become better, and you miss that because there was a form of unity, and now it's almost like it died down because, again, people start going back into their own little hubs. But again, that's why I say it was a movement that turned into a movement, and it's just take real people to make sure that it don't die.
Are you speaking on like the mediation meeting that you had with the local rappers regarding the beast?
Oh no, I mean, that happened before then too. And it's funny, that was my birthday.
You said unity, and then you like everybody went back in there.
No, I mean like in the community. Okay, in Baltimore when we had the Freddie Gray situation, people came out. Coaches, teachers, everybody came out because this affected everybody. And after we did the marches, and we let our voices be heard, and police got indicted, everybody just conceded. Like, we was satisfied with what we accomplished. But we need more than that, because they understand, they don't mind you marching and peacefully protesting. That's a part of of the Constitution. But I'm saying it's more work to be done. Our schools are failing. I mean, think about it. The governor announced that they're gonna build a $30 million prison. Who gonna go in there? They ain't gonna put no pigeons in there. And where they gonna build it? In the city. So it's not gonna be for people in Harford County. It's gonna be for people in Baltimore City. Our baby's gonna be there. I feel like we could use that money to better our education system. But that's what happens when you don't vote. That's what happens when you let other people get into office and they make decisions that affect you like that. Because they might say, I don't know how many people is going to house, but you can believe they're going to keep it open. They're not going to turn it into a museum. You know what I mean? So, and the situation you talk about with the rappers, I mean, we have a lot of talent in Baltimore. And I felt the need to get in the middle of a verbal disagreement, because I didn't want that to be the reason why they lose their life or their freedom. And sometimes you gotta be the bigger man. I mean, if you know who you are and what you're about, then you don't gotta prove nothing to everybody. And I think that was on the edge of going in the wrong direction, because these days, these kids, they don't know how to troubleshoot and problem solve. They just know how to react. And they already angry, so it don't take much to light their fire. So I felt like I had a relationship with those guys, and I respect them. And a lot of people disagree with the form, because the police was ready to lock them up. I said, hold on, nah, just chill. Let me fix this. I think I can do it. And they wanted to make sure it was fixed. It wasn't about the police. When nobody runs the police, because I mean, everybody know what I stand for. I'm a man. So then they like, I don't gotta, vouch for my image. But those young guys came out like young men. They want to resolve it, and I can honestly say, from that meeting, none of those guys had a conflict since, and they was going at it.
To me, it definitely was a proud moment when the picture hit the internet.
Oh yeah, and it was a lot of people who wasn't photogenic, but it was a proud moment for me. A lot of people they didn't want to be on the news but it was a lot of us there. We sat down in a round circle like men, and I was proud of them more than I was anybody because they had to come out.
Yes.
And that's why I tell you about trust and relationships. I don't know this. I don't know nobody else who could have got them guys to sit in front of the police and talk about. And the police left the room though with just squash your beef. You know what I'm saying? Because they know I ain't gonna set them up. I ain't no rat. So in the day, they came out and they trusted me. They trusted the process. They got the power. They got the result they were looking for. Now I can say I don't know what happens. Those guys did anything else, but that inner circle, there haven't been any conflict amongst those guys.
And shout out to those guys, yeah. And shout out to you for organizing that meeting.
Right,
I think it definitely was needed.
When I was coming up, we had people that would put their foot up your butt. We had older guys that stepped in, and they did what they call OGs supposed to do, And it wasn't nothing to see a fight back then. I don't know when last time I seen a fight. And I wish I see more. Instead of people dying and getting killed, if that's what it takes, then fight, But I don't know we killing each other because ain't no coming back from that,
Right.
And a lot of these mothers out here are suffering, I believe in, only one who can take life, I think, is God. And sometimes people, they try to be demigods, and I think that's a far reach from what it was designed to be. But that's why we got to reach our kids and teach them about how to deal with situations, And I feel like, with the right people, again, I think we can make a comeback. Because I never conceded and gave up on Baltimore. Said, I'm gonna go in the house and tuck my tail. It's Puffy did a show on Baltimore, Baltimore Uprising on Revolt.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it because I laughed, right? Because one of the guys on there like, man, this is crazy, man. I'm going in the house. And when he said that, right, I'm like saying, that's what you need to do. Because you're telling me that you don't want no problems, you don't want to be a part of this, so just go in the house, and I respect you for that. Opposed you sitting out there making matters worse, and then when something happens, you want to blame the system. Like, go in the house, until everything comes to a head, And I always often look at that because I'm telling you, something in me boils up when I look at how these kids started this move, And only they knew how much power they had. That's why I want to get those kids to vote. 18 and older can vote. Get them in, let them know everybody who's a part of the process, let them know who's a part of the problem, who's been a part of the problem, and let's find a way to put somebody, in office that's going to, respect us, and take care of us.
Now, do you have any events, voter registration events coming up that you can
tell
us about?
We're going to have a few. I don't know the destination right now, but you can believe we're going to have a few. Right now on my page, on my website, you can go in there and register to vote, because I did, for real. So, it's an easy process, you just log on and it walk you right through it. If you can't, read or write, somebody should help you. But it's definitely accessible, And it's going to be something that I'm going to try to do mobile as well, because I want to make sure we have a real good turnout in Baltimore this year.
Well, listen, we thank you for coming through. Because like I said, we can sit here. So I know I could sit here and talk to you all night about this, and that, and everything. But thank you for coming through. I know you got to go. Ms. Scott?
Well, do you have, one of the things we were talking about off air is where you got your name Stokey from. And you told me that, you want to tell people?
No, my mom, back in the late 60s, early 70s, because I don't tell you where I was born, it's like it was a black nationalist movement going on, and not necessarily Black Panther, but one of the guys that she looked up to and she referenced a lot was Stokey Carmichael. Mm-hmm. So he was powerful back in the day, and I think he was a very respectful activist. And she gave me his first name as my nickname, but she added a few letters to it, and gave me his last name as my first name. So I don't know what I'm gonna do it right, but I'm gonna get rid of Stokey and just go by my whole name.
I think you should add, because I think it's fun. I was reading the story of Stokey Carmichael, and I think it's funny how your life's kind of mirror, even though in the beginning you took a different path, but your life's kind of mirror. So I think that maybe you should kind of add a link to your page, because I feel like it was destined for you to be where you are today. Like it is.
With him?
Yeah, just kind of.
I'm gonna make sure that's done for you.
All right, thank you. I mean, it's a good story. It's you you guys have a similar history, and I think it's a good story. And it just shows that, you know, even though you make a mistake early on in life, there's always time to fix it. Like, there's always an opportunity for you to get on the right path. Like, you're never too far off path, and you can't get back on the right path and make a difference to somebody or someone or to some place. So I think it's.
I mean, that to me, that's what it's about. Like, I just, you know, again, you know, I tell my kids, you know, I don't care about being a good actor, singer, or rapper. Just be a good person. I mean, you're a good person, you'll go far in life, because, you know, that's what that matters. You know, because one day you're gonna retire from your occupation or your job, and you gotta live within yourself. And you know, people gonna remember you the type of person you were. You know, they will remember you about if you was a good basketball player, good singer. But when that fades away, because beauty fades, health, you know, what type of person was it? You know what I'm saying? And I believe in giving people their flowers while they're alive. I mean, literally, not flowers, but you know what I'm saying. So. I like him. I like his story. I think it resonates with some of the stuff I got going on. A lot of other influential black people in Baltimore that don't go, you know, on national television and boast about their accolades or their accomplishments. But I feel like right now it's our time. And again, as long as, you know, we stick together and come up with, you know, a game plan that's for the kids or for the people, you know, I think we'll be in the winner's circle. Again, I'm looking forward to being a part of the solution, because I used to be a part of the problem, and I wear it on my sleeve. So until I feel like I have, you know, resurrected myself, so to speak, I'm gonna always try my best to make sure that my mistakes is are. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go around the rest of my life feeling like I'm a part of a problem.
Right. Well, we're gonna wrap. I'm gonna let you go because I think you're hungry, because I saw you googling chicken boxes.
No, I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat.
You googling chicken boxes?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't eat meat, but I do gotta go check on my dad and do a few other things. But I'm just glad y'all brought me on. I wish y'all luck. I mean, we gotta do this more often. You gotta let me know so I can bring some of my team, Shoe City team members on your show.
Absolutely.
And y'all gotta come out and to the community where we at sometimes, because I know y'all can broadcast live right on set, right?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna invite y'all out some days.
Make sure we get
the
the invite.
And you never know, we might end up a part of the Shoe City thing.
I mean,
You gotta follow us back.
Listen, I don't care. See, that's the thing. I don't have no problem doing it.
Okay.
You know, whatever I can do, you know, I guess spread the love, I'm gonna do it.
All right.
So tell everybody again where they can follow you at, website, plug that, all that. We get out of here.
My website is thestokeyproject@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at the Stokey Project, and on Facebook, Stokey Cannady, and Twitter, the Stokey Project. Let me spell it. They know.
I'm about to say. Figure it out.
Listen, thank y'all for tuning into Shugga Mama Radio on radioonfire.com, giving you more talk, more music, more news. Make sure y'all tune in every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's been real.
I'm hungry.
Wait a minute. We got DJ Nitro in the building, which is our official Shugga Mama Radio DJ. And welcome, DJ Nitro.
Did he know that?
He knows that.
Famous for doing that.
We gonna have a celebration show for you, Nitro. So coming up.
And we don't have food.
Yes.
And drinks. Yeah. Shugga Mama Radio, DJ Nitro.